friends. So in this video series I'm doing for my house cleaning business, Stratton Cleaning Services, I am talking all about things you should be aware of when you're looking for a house cleaner, or just tips and tricks for how to communicate better and get more out of your cleaning team if you already have a house cleaner or a house cleaning service. Okay. So in this video, I want to talk about communication and giving second chances. Okay. So often when a client will hire us, they try to explain what they want. They say how much they want to pay. We say, okay, for what you want, this is about how much we will charge. And if they agree to our price for what they want done, we go do the job, right? Something like that. Okay. Or if they're like, well, I can't spend $250 for a first time deep clean. My budget is more like $150. Like, could you still come in and do something? And I'm like, well, of course, like we can come in, we can do the priorities. We can just do the best we can with that. So there's usually two versions there. Okay. So in both scenarios though, this can happen quite often. And I just want to educate you a little bit, okay? So just listen a little bit here and see, hopefully this will help you if you hire somebody you've never had, or if you just had someone do a one-time clean and they did not meet your expectations, okay? So it's hard to communicate exactly what you want or what you think to someone else when it comes to your house cleaning. It's not going to be as easy as, well, can you clean the bathroom and the living room and the kitchen and the dusting? I mean, just get everything done. And then the person's like, okay, yeah, I think we'll have enough time to do that. Like, say, for example, you're agreeing to the price. I'm saying, I think it'll take me about 4 hours. Okay, this dollar amount per hour. Okay, it's going to be about, $180 or whatever. Okay, I'm just throwing those numbers out. So it's like, well, for me, if I'm like, okay, 4 hours and I come in and, it's like I start cleaning and then, well, they actually have really dirty kitchen cabinets. I didn't notice that on the walkthrough. Okay. Well, I want to spend a little time on that, but I'm not going to try to get bogged down on that because, you can just start to think like a house cleaner is thinking this kind of stuff. Like, okay, I want to get dusting done. I know they said that was a priority, but it's really bad. And so I could either spend more time dusting and less time on their floors, which also are kind of bad. Like they've been neglected. Like I thought it would take me 4 hours, but this is really more like 6 hours. So I'm just going to do my best. I'm like zoom out of the story I'm telling right now. Okay. This is just for example, say this is maybe what's happening for them. Okay. And so they're like, well, I said I'd do it in 4 hours. I'm going to try as hard as I can to get it done as well as I can in 4, because I'm worth my time. I'm not going to stay for 6 when I quoted 4 and get paid for 4, but do 2 hours extra work because now that I'm here, I can see it's actually worse than what I thought. And I know they have a budget, right? So if they're doing the best they can, and at the end of it, they're like, okay, well, for what we agreed on, for what you were going to pay me, like I'm done. But I didn't really get to the whole kitchen dining room floor area. Like I swept and vacuumed and, and so there's no like debris on the floor, but it's still dirty, like from your dogs and from, I can just tell like it needs to get a good hand mopping and I just don't have time. So they might say that. And you're like, well, what do you mean you don't have time? You said you could do all of this for the price we agreed on. And they're like, well, yeah, but it was just dirtier than I thought. And so I just am not going to be able to like get that area done for the dollar amount we agreed on. So I could either, come back, next Monday and work on the floors and get those clean for you then. And I would, I'd sweep and vacuum, of course, again, and then mop and get those clean for you. And then if you want to keep going with a recurring service, then, we would do everything at once, but it won't, there's just a lot of buildup in the house. So it'll be easier going forward. There'll be less to do, yada, yada. But you're like the client, you're like, yeah, but I thought I was getting all this done for this agreed upon amount of $180 and you're upset now because they didn't do a good job. You're like, well, they should have known. I've heard this so many times. So it's so easy to reenact. It's like, well, they should have known that. And it's not your fault either. This is why I'm educating you. Okay. I hope you don't take this bad. Like, well, you're making fun of us when we don't even know. I'm just kind of making light of it because it's a little funny when you think of it this way. But anyway, so back to the story. So if you're like, well, but I paid you for this and it's just not done. And why is it my fault that you didn't know to charge me more, that you said you could do this in this amount of time? Like, and that's not really fair to the cleaner, is it? Because, we try our best when we come through and do a quote or a walkthrough and we're like, well, okay, I think it would take this much time. You're estimating in your head, right? But then when you and you're focused on trying to make a connection with the house owner also, or the renter or whatnot. And so you're not just like really, really looking and like at every surface to be like, okay, this is going to take me this much time. This area is going to take me this. I mean, you try, but it's tough to just do that quickly. And even if you take more time, sometimes you just don't know. Like you might get into a shower that looked like it was just regular soap buildup. But then when you get in there, it's like mineral deposits. And they said to you, the bathroom's a big priority. I can never get it clean. I really want to try to get this buildup off. So you know that you have to get it done, but it's going to take 3 times as long because soap scum comes off with the product you have. But like mineral buildup, like, from like, the white stuff, if you don't have a water softener that gets built up, like that takes a different product. And, yours doesn't, there could be so many reasons why that's harder to remove. Okay. So it's like, well, it takes longer and they want that done. And so I got to get it done. Well, now that leaves me less time to do these other areas. So I just want to say it's a lot to put on a cleaner for them to meet all of your expectations the first time. And so just want to educate you on that they're most likely trying their best, not being lazy, especially if they own their own company. Like if they're on their own or if it's them working with another person, like they want to do a good job. They need to, because otherwise they're not going to have clients. Right. So I would say for the most part, people want to do a good job. And so you can just kind of gauge, like, are they being genuine? They like are trying to communicate that they didn't get this done because of certain things took longer or whatever. Or if they just completely skip an area you told them was important, I would just encourage you not to like discount, like not discount, what's the word? I can't think of the word. It doesn't matter. Just like not to jump to like, oh, well, they didn't hear me, or like, I don't want to work with this person. They just completely forgot something I said. This is ridiculous. It's just a lot. You're cleaning a lot and there's a lot to remember. And so to get it perfectly on the first time, even if they understand what you want, there's just so many ways for them to mess it up. So not to make mistakes, but just to not realize like, oh, this area is dirty, but I didn't see it because I'm thinking about 100 things in your home right now. Like, hopefully they do a good job. Not something obvious is missed, but all that to say, this video is getting way too long. If you're still here, you're probably just enjoying the story. But all of that to say, just give it time, communicate, tell them like, well, I did think these areas would get done, and why didn't they get done? And if they're like, if they say something similar to what I just said, you're like, well, that's totally understandable. It just took longer. And yes, I would like you to come back. And yes, I would, pay for it. And, I don't mean to like laugh, but it's just like, we act like we should get so much. I mean, clients sometimes will act like they should just get so much given to them at very little cost. Their house might be caked with dust, animal fur everywhere, and a cleaner will go in there and make it look so much better. But then there's a couple things that they didn't miss, or there's a couple things they missed. This has happened to me, speaking from experience. And the client will call and be like, you missed this stuff that I'm not happy and I don't want you to come back. And you're just like, what is going on? So don't be that person. Communicate, give them a second chance. I'm clapping at you so that you listen to me because you can have a great relationship. Try it for 2 or 3 times. Try giving them feedback. Try communicating. And if they're still like not getting it, then I would say move on. Just, respectfully, I just don't think this is a good fit. And then try somebody new. Don't give up till you find the perfect house cleaner for you. So, obviously we have a house cleaning business. You can call us, you can try us out. Hopefully we will respond and work on these things that you're communicating to us. That's the whole goal. But it can be tricky. You just really, gotta, try to give people some time to get it right. And if not, then you move on. So thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day.